everybody, it's Rochelle. I lost San Martin, but I'm here with BAWB Chronicles Special Edition, and I can't wait to introduce our guest to you. We'll be right back.
I've been down there, looking for the silver lining, but no matter what they always find it. So maybe you should just get lost.
Hey guys, so I'm here on my own today. He's giving me the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel here. But I have a great guest that's going to give us some insight into some environmental scientific details and the grant that's available here in Prescott. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Okay, my name is Dave Blaney. I work for Stantec Consulting.
And you are?
I'm a principal environmental scientist and EPA Brownfield Grant Specialist.
Awesome. I learned, Dave and I met at a NACOG meeting just a few weeks back, and the presentation that he gave was really, really informative. And it dawned on me that a lot of people don't know about some of the opportunities out there and even what a brownfield grant is. So we thought we would bring you the information first. Dave, tell us a little bit about yourself and your past, what brought you into, studying for this getting this brownfield grant for the area.
Well, I've been doing environmental consulting for 30 some odd years. And I used to do work on Superfund sites, which involves a whole lot of attorneys. Those are the worst sites in the country, so everybody sits around the table and argues with each other and spends a lot of money and nothing gets done. Brownfield is different in that even though the money comes from EPA, it's not an enforcement program. So you get a little bit of information about your property, and then what you do with it is up to you. You don't get a knock on the door, you don't get a phone call, you don't get somebody calling you on the phone saying, okay, you spent this money, now you need to do whatever, you need to clean something up. It doesn't work that way. But brownfields overall, that program is designed to take blighted properties or underutilized properties or vacant properties where the owner wants to do something more, wants to reuse the property, redevelop the property, renovate a building, and it gives them information that tells them what they need to do to make that happen.
Great. So this is really for property owners or future property owners or investors, anybody and specifically right now in the Prescott area and beyond, there's an opportunity for them to get access to grant money that helps them to better their property. What kind of properties are brownfield?
Well, a brownfield, as I said, can be, underutilized, vacant, abandoned, and sometimes contaminated properties. But probably 70% of what is out there in the way of properties that's been brownfield money have no contamination. They're just old buildings or old properties that have been used before, and nobody really knows the history of them. So this is a way to document what was there previously, what's there now, what are the conditions now. And then if you want to, as a property owner, you can go to a bank and you can get a loan to do something new and different on your property. You can sell the property more easily. There's just a wide variety of things that you can do once you get these assessments that you couldn't do before. And the best part is $0. It doesn't cost you a thing.
Right.
Not a cent out of your pocket.
I think that's the interesting thing for our viewers to know is that you may be sitting on a property or you may have been looking at one that's up the street from your house to purchase that you're just not sure if it's going to be a lot of work, if it's got some past history that could be contamination, if it was an old gas station, an old garage, if it was an old school, if it was it has even been there for a really long time, might have some asbestos. A lot of times the banks require, a phase 1 and
Right.
a phase 2 and a hazard assessment,
Yes.
some other things, and those are really expensive. So this grant actually gives the owner or the future property owner the opportunity to do that without a dime.
That's right. A phase 1 can cost anywhere between $3,000 and $5,000. A phase 2, $25,000 or more. And a regulated building material survey where you go in and sample a building looking for asbestos and lead-based paint. Those can run from, say, $5,000 or $8,000 all the way up to $20,000. And that's money that you'd have to pay as the property owner if you want to do something with your older property. But with this program, you don't pay anything.
I think we can all think of a few places that would fit the bill that, you wonder, they've been sitting there forever and nobody's doing anything with them, and why. And the why is often these tests.
Yes.
They're expensive.
Yes.
And then you do uncover problems that you have to deal with. But one of the great things about this grant, and it is led or funded or brought to you by the EPA, essentially,
Right.
it can lead into some other opportunities that have upwards of, I think, $5 million in one of the remediation grants.
Yes. EPA has, this is an assessment grant, but EPA also has cleanup grants, and particularly for government and nonprofit, but sometimes even for private owners. You can apply for one of the cleanup grants, and those are up to $5 million per property. So, that's something that you just can't get anywhere else.
No, and I mean, we'll take it back to the Brownfield grant. So right now, this has been around for a little while, and it doesn't last forever. So
That's right.
Can you tell us a little bit about the areas in which this pertains to, and when the deadlines are?
Sure. So this is what's called a coalition Brownfield Assessment Grant, which means there's more than 3 parties involved. So Northern Arizona Council of Governments is the lead coalition member, but Coconino County, Yavapai County, town of Camp Verde, and the city of Winslow are all coalition members. The fact that Prescott is within Yavapai County, which is a coalition member, a named coalition member, means that any city, including Prescott, and especially Prescott, can benefit from it. The grant was awarded in 2019 and was supposed to expire September 30th of this year, but EPA has just granted a 1-year extension to NACOG. And so the money will be around for a limited time until September 30th of 2023, but it's first come, first served.
Yeah, and I mean, the nice part about it is for us, for regular users, is that not a lot of people have gotten access to this grant yet.
Right.
There just haven't been a lot of applications, but there's not a whole lot of time left, and there is still money available.
Right. If you look at the distribution of the money that's been spent so far, the little town of Camp Verde has had 5 or 6 properties that have been assessed. Prescott, only 2. And I thought, hey, Prescott, there's going to be a lot of people interested, but so far not so much, and that's a shame, because there's a lot here that a lot of property owners here that I think could benefit from it.
I think so too. I mean, there are some clearly very old buildings that have a history, that maybe have been through some stuff that people may even be sitting on because they don't have the money to spend. They don't,
Right.
They know that the process is long and expensive,
Right.
but it improves the value of your property. It gives you more opportunity. And I think in one of those assessments, don't they even tell you what business would do well in that particular facility?
Yes, that's something that we can do, is help property owners know more about what kind of business would work well with the property that they have.
Yeah, so clean it up and get somebody in there and
Right.
make everybody profitable.
Right.
At that point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the recent things, success stories that we've had with this grant has happened right here in Prescott. One of the 2 properties, again, that have been assessed, and it was done by the folks that established Founding Fathers Collaborative. They bid on a property that the city of Prescott owned, that went up for auction right across the creek from them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple buildings there that they're going to take down, and they're going to put up a 5-story affordable housing structure, but the ground floor is going to be commercial. So the whole thing will be mixed use. They used the grant to get a phase 1 environmental site assessment, make sure there were no contaminants of concern. They also did a regulated building material survey to look for asbestos in the buildings they're going to demolish. And I think that really helped them have some confidence in what they were proposing and be able to put together a bid that ultimately the city found attractive.
Yeah, oh, but that's a huge success story.
Right.
I think you had another good one where the woman was mid escrow and was like, "Uh-oh, my bank's asking for this."
Yes, absolutely. If you're buying a property, it's always good to get one of these assessments before you go into escrow if you can. But we have had situations since this grant has been awarded that where a property owner came in and said, "Oh, I knew there was something I forgot. I'm in escrow. I have less than 30 days to get an assessment done and make sure I'm not buying a problem. Can you help me out?" And, as long as it's not the day before escrow closes, there's a lot that we can do. And we were able to successfully help her. And that was the second property here in Prescott. And she was able to close on the property successfully.
I think if you already know you bought a problem, maybe on purpose for an investment, that's good. Or you want to expand, or you see something that's just been sitting there for a long time that you're interested in. This is a great opportunity. And how do people reach you to get involved in this?
Well, at the bottom of the screen, I guess, is my
scrolling right
scrolling at the bottom of the screen is my email address and my phone number. So reach out if this sounds like it's of interest to you.
Yeah, I think it just most importantly is for people to know that this really does apply to really any property in the area at this time that may have question and need a phase one.
Yes.
As an entry point.
Right.
I mean, if that's come up before.
And you don't need to worry about, okay, what if I find a problem, because there is money down the road that can help you if that happens. It's also true that if you were to get a phase one to look at, historical use of your property, and there was no recognized environmental condition that was identified with that, you can stop and you got a clean bill of health and you can you can take it to the bank, you can sell it. You can do whatever you want to with it. And that happens more times than not.
And that was a great point, is this grant doesn't have any requirements to do anything after. Like you said,
right.
You can stop. You can just, hey guys, I need some help with the phase one. You're like, okay, here's the, $4,000 it costs to do it, essentially.
Yes.
And
that's
you're
it.
done.
You're done. Yes, absolutely. You can stop at any time. There's absolutely no obligation to go forward and get more assessment or do a cleanup or do anything more with your property. But that's the nice part about it. It's totally voluntary and it's totally up to you what you do with the information.
Yeah, I think even just getting the assessment raises your property value. It diminishes questions.
That's right. Because buyers and developers and investors, what do they hate the most? They hate uncertainty, and they hate not knowing what the history of a property is or what it was there 10, 20, 30 years ago. And this will tell them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, guys, you heard it here first. If you like what we're bringing to you, keep checking back in with us. We love bringing you educational and informative information. Reach out to Dave if you have any desire to get involved in the Brownfield Grant program. And thanks for joining us.